Do you think dogs love you unconditionally? Yes, but that doesn't mean you haven't hurt them. Have you ever seen a dog lying with its back turned, silently watching you when you're busy? Is that real sadness or just pretending to be obedient? The answer might surprise you, because maybe you've heard it without even realizing. This video will reveal 21 seemingly harmless behaviors that actually feel like sharp thorns in the hearts of our loyal dogs. Section 1. Being left out when a new baby arrives. Did you know many dogs get pushed aside the moment a family welcomes a new baby? When the baby arrives, all attention shifts to the child, while the dog, once the loyal companion cuddled every night, becomes nothing more than a shadow in the house. The heartbreaking part is, dogs don't understand why everything has changed. They feel like they've done something wrong. Some even fall into depression, eating less, sleeping more, and withdrawing from daily activities. Don't let a living soul that has always been loyal to you become a leftover presence in its own home. Has your family ever gone through this phase? How did your dog react? I'd love to hear your story. But there's one thing that hurts dogs even more than being forgotten, and that's the negative emotions you pass on to them every single day. Section 2. When the owner is sad or depressed. You think your dog doesn't understand your emotions? In reality, it can sense even the sorrow you try to hide. Dogs are incredibly sensitive to emotions. Research shows they can detect changes in stress hormones like cortisol just from your body odor. When you cry, fall silent, or even just change your expression, your dog picks up on the unease within you. They'll snuggle closer, or even bring you toys to play with as a way to comfort you. But if the sadness lingers, your dog will start to feel it too, and might even become sick. Lose energy, and stop eating. When you're deep in depression, don't forget there's a little creature quietly sharing that burden with you. Has your dog ever done something that surprised you on a rough day? I'd love to hear your story. I believe it's a moment you'll never forget. But there's one seemingly simple thing that can leave your dog silently fuming every day. Are you doing it during your daily walks? Section 3. Holding the leash too tight. You think you're controlling your dog better, but to them, it feels like you're tightening the whole world. Dogs don't just feel the physical tension on the leash, they also sense your emotions through it. When you're anxious, afraid, or impatient, the leash tightens, and your dog immediately senses something's wrong. Being constantly pulled isn't just uncomfortable, it can also strain their neck, shoulders, and emotional well-being. Many dogs become fearful, or even develop negative reactions toward the leash itself. A leash pulled too tight can sever the trust between you and your beloved companion. Do you usually keep the leash loose or tight when walking your dog? Have there been moments when you had to pull hard? Feel free to share. I'd love to hear your experience. But even if you're not pulling the leash, you might still be making your dog feel suffocated by something that seems harmless. Not letting them sniff during walks. Section 4. Not letting your dog sniff during walks. A walk without sniffing, for a dog, is like going on an outing blindfolded. Dogs don't see the world with their eyes, they see it with their nose. Every scent is a newsfeed. Who just passed by? Male or female dog? Where's the food? Is there any danger nearby? When you rush your dog and don't let them sniff, you're essentially cutting off the information they need. Many dogs become anxious, disconnected from their surroundings, and gradually lose interest in walks. Stopping a dog from sniffing isn't just annoying, it's robbing them of the highlight of their day. How long do you usually let your dog sniff during walks? Ever had a moment where they got really focused on one spot? I'm super curious, but there's something dogs hate even more than being stopped from sniffing, and that's when you don't let them relieve themselves the way they want to. Section 5. Forcing your dog to pee quickly. Have you ever impatiently urged your dog to hurry up while they're busy sniffing around? For you, going to the bathroom is a simple physical need. But for dogs, it's a social ritual, a scented map they need to carefully study. Every spot they sniff is a message left by another dog. Relieving themselves isn't just doing their business. It's signing in to the neighborhood registry. When you rush them, pull the leash, or get irritated, you not only stress them out, but also take away their control over their environment. Forcing a dog to hurry is like making them miss out on a chance to connect with the world around them. Have you ever watched your dog circle around forever before finally going? Were you patient enough to wait? I'm sure many people can relate to this. But here's something else. Something you might do thinking it's making them more social. But it actually adds invisible pressure, forcing your dog to interact with dogs they don't like. Section 6. Forcing your dog to socialize with other dogs. You think, dogs are dogs, they should play together. Not quite. Yes, dogs are pack animals, but that doesn't mean every dog is friendly with all others. Some dogs will avoid, bark at, or growl just at the sight of another. When you drag your dog over to make friends, you're putting them in a stressful situation, like forcing a person to shake hands with someone they really dislike. This can lead to fear, aggressive reactions, or even long-term psychological trauma, especially in more timid dogs. Don't let something meant to be, socializing, turn into a nightmare your dog has to endure. Does your dog have a nemesis? Have you ever tried to make them get along with someone's pet they clearly didn't like? Share your story, chances are others have been there too. And sometimes, even if you're not forcing them to interact, just leaving your dog alone at home all day can be more emotionally damaging than you might think. Section 7. Leaving your dog alone for too long. You think they're just lying there waiting? In reality, they're counting every hour you're gone, with a heart full of worry. Dogs aren't solitary creatures. In the wild, they're always with their pack, and now, you're their pack. Being left alone for 8 to 10 hours a day isn't just boring, it causes anxiety, insecurity, and can even lead to behavioral issues like chewing furniture, excessive barking, or peeing indoors. Some dogs even show signs of depression, lying still, unresponsive, and eating noticeably less. You might not see their loneliness, but to them, every day without you feels long and isolating. What do you usually do to help your dog feel less lonely when you're at work? Have you ever asked a neighbor to walk them? Or sent them to daycare? I'd love to hear what solutions you've tried. But what's even sadder than being alone is when your dog sees you sad and feels the need to become your comforter, without anyone ever asking them if they're okay. Section 8. When you're sad, your dog feels it too. You think you're good at hiding your sadness? Your dog knows, and it's feeling that sadness for you. Dogs don't just watch your actions, they sense your emotional energy. When you're tired, quiet, distant, or smiling less, they respond, staying closer, becoming more silent, or trying to get your attention by acting out. Some dogs are so sensitive they lose sleep, eat less, or seem restless for no clear reason. It's their way of carrying your emotional load, like a living, breathing mirror of your mood. If you're hurting inside, don't forget, there's a small creature beside you silently soaking in all that heaviness without being able to say a word. Has your dog ever reacted in a surprising way when you were down? What did it do that touched you? Share if you'd like. I believe those are some of the most genuine and precious moments. But sometimes, you don't even have to be sad. Just ignoring them for a little while can already make that little heart ache. Section 9. Ignoring your dog because you're too busy. It's not yelling. It's not punishment. Sometimes, silence is the deepest wound for a dog. Dogs don't ask for much, they just want your attention. A glance, a head pat, a random word, those little things make them feel like they belong. But when you come home from work with your eyes glued to your phone, or eat dinner without once calling their name, that makes them feel left out of the pack. According to research from the University of Lincoln, UK, dogs can tell when they're being ignored, and the emotion of social exclusion is very real for them. They don't blame you for being busy, but do you know that each time you overlook them, they quietly withdraw just a little more? Do you set aside a special moment for your dog each day? How much time do you think it takes for them to truly feel your love? I'd love to hear how you maintain that connection. And if you think feeding them is enough, the next point might change your mind. Raising a dog without consistent routines or habits is actually testing their trust in you. Section 10. Lack of clear routines and rules. You love flexibility and freedom? For your dog, that's chaos. Dogs are creatures of rhythm and thrive on consistency. When meals, potty breaks, and walks happen randomly, their brain can't predict what's coming next. This uncertainty can cause anxiety, leading to behaviors like barking for no reason, digging through trash, or even mild depression. A steady routine helps dogs feel secure and in control of their environment. Without a clear schedule, every day feels like a stressful gamble to your dog. How does your dog react when you're late or forget mealtime? Ever had a rough patch trying to stick to a schedule? Share. It might comfort others going through the same. And even if you do have a routine, just one wrong move in training can scare or confuse your dog deeply. Section 11. Training by yelling or punishment. One loud shout can leave a long-lasting scar in your dog's heart. Dogs don't understand that yelling means you did something wrong, they only feel your anger. Scolding doesn't teach them much, except to fear you. Punishment, especially if mistimed or unexplained, causes confusion, breaks trust, and can even trigger defiant behavior. Positive reinforcement, rewarding the good, is far more effective than punishing the bad. Losing control just once can fracture a beautiful bond you've built with your dog. Are you more of a tough love trainer or a patient one? How does your dog respond? I'd love to hear your training story. And sometimes, even without yelling, just hugging the wrong way can leave your dog frozen with fear. Section 12. Hugging your dog too tightly. You think your dog loves hugs? Maybe that's just you thinking that. Not every dog is comfortable being squeezed between two arms. For many, it feels like being restrained or trapped. Dogs tend to stiffen or try to avoid tight hugs, especially when they come from strangers or kids. This can trigger defensive responses like growling or light biting just to escape. Don't confuse your affection with pressure that threatens your dog's sense of safety. Does your dog enjoy being hugged? Or does it prefer being petted in a specific spot? Share your story. Understanding their love language is so important. And speaking of things dogs hate, there's a smell they absolutely loathe, even if you find it pleasant. Section 13. Strong scents from perfume or cleaning products. What smells clean to you could be a nightmare to your dog's nose. A dog's sense of smell is tens of times stronger than ours. Scents from air fresheners, bleach, candles, or strong perfume can overwhelm them, causing headaches, stress, and avoidance of those areas. Some dogs may even panic or vomit from intense odors. A home that smells good to you could be a sensory prison for the animal you love most. Have you ever noticed your dog acting strangely after you cleaned or sprayed something? I'd love to hear what you observed. And there's one more scent they often hate, one tied to something as seemingly harmless as dressing up. Section 14. Dressing up your dog. You think it's cute, they think it's weird, tight, and totally confusing. Dogs weren't born to wear clothes. Tight outfits especially restrict movement, interfere with body temperature regulation, and cause stress, unless they're used to it from a young age. Some dogs even show embarrassment or react negatively by scratching, freezing, or walking awkwardly. Don't let your sense of cute become their source of discomfort. Does your dog like wearing clothes? Or bolt at the sight of a sweater? Share your pet fashion story. I bet it's adorable and maybe a little chaotic too. But sometimes, no clothes are needed at all. Just the sound of the vacuum can send them running in terror. Section 15. Vacuum cleaners and loud noises. You hear noise. They hear bombs exploding in the living room. A dog's hearing is 4 to 5 times more sensitive than ours. Sounds from vacuums, drills, thunderstorms, or fireworks can send them into panic, causing them to flee, curl up in fear, or tremble uncontrollably. Sensitive breeds especially can suffer chronic stress if exposed repeatedly. What sounds normal to you might be a wordless nightmare to your dog. How does your dog react to the vacuum? Any unusual behavior? I'd love to know. And once the noise stops, there's something your dog still desperately needs: regular, proper exercise. Section 16. Lack of exercise and being confined too long. Your dog lying still all day? That might not be a sign of good behavior, but a red flag. Dogs need physical activity to stay mentally and physically healthy. Being cooped up in small spaces without regular walks or play leads to pent-up energy and stress. This often results in destructive behaviors like chewing, whining, or even joint issues. For dogs, walking isn't just exercise, it's emotional release and a way to explore the world. Lack of exercise is like locking them in an invisible psychological cage. How long do you take your dog outside each day? Have you noticed a clear difference when they get enough playtime? Share your experience. But even with exercise, if they lack proper social interaction, dogs can still feel deeply abandoned. Section 17. Lack of social interaction. Your dog's constant barking? It's not being chatty, it's a cry to be heard. Dogs are pack animals. Deprivation of social interaction, whether with humans or other dogs, leaves them feeling isolated. Prolonged loneliness can trigger behaviors like non-stop barking, chewing, or emotional withdrawal. A gentle pet, a look, or simply saying their name reminds them, you belong. They don't speak, but they're always trying to say, I'm here, don't forget me. How do you interact with your dog daily? Ever been surprised when they tried to start a conversation with you? I'd love to hear your stories. Sometimes, just missing the signs in their body language can hurt more than we realize. Section 18. Ignoring your dog's body language. Ears down, tail tucked. That's not cute, it's stress talking. Dogs communicate through their bodies. Ignoring or misreading their cues, like frequent yawning, lip licking, or turning away, can push them into discomfort or danger. When a dog's warning signs go unnoticed, they're left with no choice but to escalate to growling or defensive actions. Missing their body language is like turning away from a silent plea for help. Have you ever misread your dog's signals? Or had a moment when their eyes told you everything? Please share, it might help others understand their dogs better too. And even if you don't catch the signs, the right toys can give them a safe outlet. Section 19. Lack of toys or mental stimulation. Chewing, barking, or acting out. Sometimes, it's just boredom. Dogs need mental stimulation. Without it, they create their own fun, often in ways you won't like. Interactive toys, food puzzles, or games like tug of war can keep them mentally engaged in content for hours. A bored dog left too long will invent games you never asked for. What's your dog's favorite toy? Ever tried making DIY toys? I'd love to hear what works best for them. And finally, the deepest pain isn't from toys or punishment, it's when you give up on them. Section 20. Giving up, not allowing your dog to make mistakes. Chewed furniture? Accidents indoors? Those aren't reasons to abandon a life that chose to love you. Too many people give up on dogs due to minor issues when in fact, these can be fixed with patience, time, and proper training. A dog that's been abandoned once may carry that emotional scar for life. Struggling to trust again, and heartbreakingly, most dogs surrendered to shelters never find another home. You are everything they have. Giving up means taking away their entire world. Have you ever felt overwhelmed and considered giving your dog away? What changed your mind? I'd love to hear how you and your dog made it through the tough times. And if you've read this far, this last point is your most important reminder. Your dog doesn't need you to be perfect, just present. Section 21. Ignoring their love. You worry about everything, work, kids, bills, but your dog has one focus, you. They don't care about gifts, schedules, or deadlines. All they want is for you to notice them, to sit beside you. Hear their name, feel your touch. When they're ignored, not hugged, not spoken to, they grow silent, withdrawn, and quietly broken. You are their universe. Don't let that universe shatter because you forgot to look back. Are you giving your dog enough of your time? Do you call their name at least once a day? Try noticing, it may change everything. Now you know, dogs don't ask for much, but they're more fragile than you think. Not everyone who owns a dog is a true guardian. Only those whom dogs trust and love back truly become family. In the next video, I'll tell you what your dog's sleeping position next to you reveals about their trust. Have you ever done something that made your dog sad? Tell me, I bet you're not alone. And if this video helped you understand your dog better, stick around. There's so much more to discover.